we have to give a bit of body to this stocking, something that makes it, you know, stiff, something that gives it some body. Now, I'm going to use Heat and Bond. Oh, you know, anyone who knows me off of Peter Rabbit, so along with Jacqueline, knows that I like Heat and Bond. This is Heat and Bond fusible iron-on fleece. Read the instructions, it'll tell you how to do it. Or, alternatively, if you've got a piece of normal batting that you would normally use on a quilt or something like that, we can use that as an alternative, and then we would use something like 505 spray to spray it when we cut it, spray it and stick the front to the batting. You can do that as well. So there are other alternatives. It depends on what you have available to you at home, because you don't want to go out and buy a load of stuff, or if you are going to go out and buy stuff to do this, well then buy what you need, not, you know, well, you know, at the end of the day, take a view. So let's get our pattern back again, and let's maybe through that end, but whew, that might work for me, this end. Okay, will it, won't it? Oh, yeah, I can get it in there. I'm taking it at an angle, yeah, again with the pattern weights, hold it down as I go, and I'll just cut around again. Oh, just cut around again as I go. Don't get too precious over this, because see, that's a little bit bigger than my pattern, but at the end of the day we're going to do a 1/2 inch seam on this, and we are going to cut the seams back. So if for some reason you slightly deviated from the pattern, well, it's not going to matter. It's really not going to matter. Oh, hello. Right. Okay. Now, if you've got, whoops, your fleece or your, well, not so much with the batting, but if you've got your fleece, as I have got it, sticky ways up at the moment, then to cut the next piece out, you need to reverse the pattern, because these have to be facing opposite ways. So, you know, we did it okay with the fabric because we had it folded in two, but now I've reversed the pattern to get the mirror image for the stocking piece that I wish to attach it to. I hope you understand that. If you don't, rewind and take a look again, because if the material is the same way up, then for a reverse image you have to reverse the pattern. Oh, I'm going to move that a minute. I can see something underneath. Okay.
Here's your reminder. Tablets.
It's going to do that again in a minute. 8 o'clock in the evening.
Here's your reminder. Tablets.
So I've got a double thickness here of just plain polycotton or cotton, and again, using this template, what we need to do is to just cut out two. Because I got 2 layers, obviously I'm just cutting out the one, and as it is plain either side fabric, it doesn't matter. Slightly off there. Let me hold my pattern straight a minute. Where did I go wrong? Yeah, there. I would suggest, if you're not as confident as I am with a cutter, you use a ruler to help you with these cuts. Oops. So we can get rid of that fabric. Get rid of any other bits. Put my pattern weights away now. I'm not going to need them anymore. Okay. Oops. They can go away. So, and our big, this obviously needs a bit of a light press. So that's my lining. So we need to go back now to our first pieces, and with the scratchy side of the fleece or the batting, which if you cut it, I've lost my bits, here it is, or if you cut batting, now would be the time to lay your top pieces onto the batting, peel it back, spray, peel it back, press out with your hand, peel this back, spray, peel it down again and press it down to match. With obviously with the fusible fleece, which is what I'm using, I will now take this to the iron and iron it on. Look at the instructions on whatever sort of fusible fleece or fusible thing you have, and follow their instructions. Before we can do anything else, you need to print out whatever character or shape that you're going to use for your stocking, and please print out the PDF that I put up, whether you're eventually going to use the embroidery file or whether you're going to do it by hand. They are all going to be exactly the same thing because I've drawn the embroidery to these shapes, sizes. Okay. There are a few that I have put up on the site, like for example the Prezi with the bow and the very simple Christmas ornament, the little round with the little glitter top. These things are what you call vertically, they share the same vertical axis, so it doesn't matter which way round you draw it because they are identical one side from the other on the vertical. However, other characters, like for example say Sam's elf, which I'm going to do, I said I'm going to do it for my hubby's stocking, they do matter which way round you draw them out if you're working manually. So you take your sheet, you take your piece of heat and bond, turn on your light box where everything goes crazy, and you probably can't see this as well. Then you need to turn over your sheet, because on your heat and bond you want it the other way round to attach the back of your fabric. But with a light box you can still see it perfectly well throughout the the two widths of paper, or the two layers of paper. Hang on, let me just hold that down a minute. Take your pencil and just follow your shape around. Okay, then you will cut it out using your iron, attach it to the back of whatever fabric. I've just done this one on my cutter, but that's big enough to do another one. So I would cut out this then from the heat and bond, attach it to the back, cut around it, peel the heat and bond off, and it's ready to be stuck down. So that's how you would do it if you were manually doing it. And then obviously you would go on, let me turn this off now, you would go on then to take your shapes. As I say, I'm doing mine in a slightly different fashion. So let's take a stocking, and then remembering you're going to have at least 4.5 inches of cuff. So you could take a tape measure and make yourself a line and say, well, that's 4.5 inches. So when I start to add my applique, okay, I've got to remember now how this goes. I think the hat is last, but I put them there so I know I've got enough room. So then I take my feet, go on first, little tiny feet. So, but you can see what I'm doing. I would take that red out a minute. I would put my feet on. Well, first of all, I guess I would try it, test it, to make sure that it's going to work for me. Put my body on. Remove my hat for now. Put my beard on, which I've cut out of fleece. Put my beard on. Put my nose on. Then my hat goes on over the top of that lot. Okay? And once you know it's okay, you can iron it down, and you know that it looks where you want it. Obviously central. You can iron each individual piece down in that order, and you're ready to go to then take it to the machine and do a blanket stitch all the way around in the different colours, or sit there and hand sew, slip stitch or run stitch, or however you want to do it by hand, and just applique that down. So that's, you need to do this before you do anything else. If you're going to put, you may decide to put an alternative one on the other side of the stocking. Again, this stage needs to be done now, and you need to leave yourself 4.5 inches from the top before you start your applique. I am now going to put this on under my machine.